Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Good afternoon, and thank y'all, and welcome to the Chauvin Water Tank, part of your Consolidated Waterworks District Number 1's infrastructure. Today we're here to celebrate probably the ultimate private and public cooperation and partnership on installing and having available for the people of Terrebonne a Doppler radar system truly dedicated to Terrebonne Parish. I'd like to take this time to introduce the Board of Commissioners, my bosses, who approved this and stood by their staff all the way to get it completed. Our Commissioner President, Mr. Vincent Celestin, our Vice President, Mr. Johnny Pizzolata, there you are, our Secretary, Ms. Terry Cavalier, Chatinier, Charles Brown, Craig Luke, Patrick Marcel, who is Miss Councilwoman Kim Chauvin's representative to the Board of Commissioners, Mr. Wilbert Thomas, Mr. Dwayne Hornsby. Did I miss anybody? Am I not seeing? Everybody's here. There are 9 commissioners, and they're all here today to be a part of this celebration and to support the efforts that are coming on. I'm going to ask Earl Hughes, who really is the one responsible for getting all of this started. The quick story is he was in Florida at Earl, of course, is our Terrebonne Parish Office of Emergency Preparedness Director, was at a meeting in Florida and met Tara or some of their representatives, Gary, with Climavision, kind of got together, hey, we could do that, we're interested. He came back, put us together, we put the board, so probably been working on this a year and a half, maybe, almost 2 years, and it's done. So I'm going to ask Earl to come up and share some of this with me and introduce some of the other public figures that are here with us today. Earl?
Thank you, Mr. Mike. Thank you all for being here today. I'd like to recognize a few of our guests that we have today. We have Councilwoman Kim Chauvin. We have City Marshal Herbert Hebert. I'm sorry, Herbert Fitch. I get it right. We have our Fire Chief from Houma, Corey Henry. We have our Planning and Zoning Director for the parish, Chris Pulaski. We have our TITA Executive Director, Cohen Guidry. We have Nicole Monteville with the Chamber. And we have Chris Bergeron with Representative Graves' office. And I have Ben Walker here, who is the Assistant Director at my office. Yes,
I got one.
I'm sorry.
Also a commissioner. I didn't see you at first. I'm sorry.
All right. But like I said, Mr. Mike said, we've been working on this for almost a year and a half. It's a great endeavor for us here in Terrebonne. We're actually we're the second radar here in Louisiana. We have 3 now. We have 3 now. Another one's in St. Mary Parish. For those of you that may not know the history, the radar that's in Slidell for the National Weather Service did not cover our area sufficiently. And we knew that for years. And they knew it also. So this gave us an opportunity to provide another tool for us to use in emergency management to monitor the weather systems that come through the parish. The National Weather Service knew that radar wasn't in the right place because it just recently has been moved from Slidell to Hammond, which now gives us a little better coverage, but we still get some better coverage with this radar because we're closer to the coast. So it's a funny story. You know, we were at the conference, and Tara and Emily from Climavision come up to me and they're like, "Hey, we were told to talk to you about introducing us to a lot of people to see where we can put some radars." And I said, "Well, I'll take the first one," but we were second. And then so from that point on, I called them the Radar Girls. So everywhere we went, I tried to introduce, "Hey, I need to introduce y'all to the Radar Girls," so that we could, you know, introduce them to other parishes and other areas that may need this system. It is a public-private partnership. In other words, that's a private company, and we have a public entity that's helping out. In order for us to advance now on and into the future, and for us to be able to afford technology like this, we're going to have to do more public-private partnerships with companies in order to get this technology, whether it be radar, whether it be you know, maybe some other computer technology or some other technology that's out there. We need to look at these public-private partnerships. They do it along the river. All the plants along the river help all the parishes with public-private partnerships and getting what they need for their area. So this is a monumental event for us. It's great for us to have this technology. And like I said, we couldn't have this done without the Waterworks District allowing us to use their tower. And we, you know, we came and did a couple of presentations and you know, made sure that they understood what we were doing and how it was going to work and what benefit they would have from it. So, Mr. Mike and your board, thank y'all very much for allowing us to do this and helping our community and the residents of this parish. So with that, I'll turn it over to Tara Good. She's with Climavision, and she'll give y'all some more information on the radar. Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. Good afternoon. As Earl said, I'm Tara Good. I'm our VP of Partnerships and Radar Operations at Climavision, and I'm a founding member of the company. I've been here since day one. And I'll tell you a little bit of the passion that drives the public-private partnership initiatives that we build our network on, why it's so important to us, and what it can do for this community, the region, the state, the country. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you. This is my favorite part of a project. As Michael said, it normally takes a year to a year and a half to get these things done. There are so many people that are involved in just making this happen. And Michael and Jacob and Megan and the whole team at the Consolidated Waterworks group really were behind making this thing get up on top of that water tank. There was a ton of coordination. This is a really unique site. This is, I will say, this is our only site that sits at 1 foot above sea level in our entire network. So all of the engineering things that went along with that, I just want to give a really heartfelt thank you to the group that made that happen. My team has had nothing but great things to say. Every one of my experiences with the group have been really top class, and we get really entrenched in our communities, so I feel like we're coming away with new friends and family, and I thank you guys for the opportunity to do that. Before I dive into the problem that this radar is going to solve, I do just want to give a little bit of personal background. So I have been about the last 10, 11 years in weather and energy on the private side, but before that, I spent 10 years in public service. And I grew up in Florida on the Gulf Coast, not that far from here. I grew up my whole life dealing with hurricanes, well aware of the issues, just like you guys are, of what those cause. My first 90 days onto the job in my public service career, we were hit by an EF4 tornado in southeast Alabama, and we lost 8 children in a high school and a senior adult. And at that time in my life, I thought, I'm going to do this public service thing for a little bit. I thought I might go be a teacher. That completely changed the trajectory and the path that I was on, because that moment was such a stop, pay attention, and observe this sort of moment for me. So the fact that now I get to, on the private side, partner with public communities is like come full circle for me. I'm very, very passionate about it. And it's not just me. Climavision is a company full of people who have been in the weather industry for a long time, both on the public and private side. So while that's my personal story, I can guarantee you that everybody else has a similar story that they can tell. So they care just as much about the community as I do here. As Gary, I should recognize, is on my team, but also a site partner in West Feliciana Parish. So he was so passionate about the challenge that this radar helps solve that he actually came on board and works with our communities. So Very quickly, let me just touch on some of the technology and why it matters. So Earl alluded to this already, but there is a challenge with some weather radar locations, or I should say some populations that are situated further away from a National Weather Service radar. It's not an issue with the radar. It's no fault of anybody. It's just the fact that as a radar emits a beam in a straight line, the further you are away from it in a community, the higher it's looking over your head. So that can create a lot of challenges when volatile weather moves into an area, let's say 4,000 feet and below, where some of the crazy stuff tends to happen. If you've ever been looking at an app on your phone or you've been listening to a meteorologist on TV and it doesn't quite line up with reality, like you look out your window and it's raining and they say it's not, or vice versa, that's the symptom of being in a weather gap. There are about 200 locations across the United States that struggle with this challenge, that live in a low-level gap. So you're not alone. This is something that we're solving across the country. As Earl said, the Weather Service has really amazing technology. They are the gold standard of weather networks across the globe. They can't do anything about the curvature of the earth in the way that Doppler technology works. So for us as a company, we felt that we could actually help them a little bit faster as a private partner for this solution, get this data into their hands faster, get this data into the hands of communities faster, so that we actually have a sustainable solution. There have been a lot of efforts in the past in some communities for gap filling where maybe they tried to go buy the hardware themselves, own it, operate it, maintain it. It's pretty cumbersome. It's not an off-the-shelf technology. It's kind of challenging if you don't come from radar or weather land. So it's not something that's easy to just own and operate on your own. So for us, we saw a lot of systems turn off in our prior weather careers, and we thought, this isn't going to work. A radar doesn't do anybody any good if it's turned off. So what we said we're going to do, we're going to roll these radars out in these low-level gaps, and we're going to partner with all of the public folks that would be willing to partner with us and get this data into the hands, keep the radars online so that we can protect people and communities and property. So that's exactly what this radar is going to do. So just a little bit of the kind of the high notes about it. It covers about 60 miles in every direction. So you're not only helping Terrebonne Parish by putting this radar online, helping us get it up there, you're actually helping 60 miles. And the whole purpose is to essentially bridge the gap between the nearest National Weather Service system so we can get a full view of weather as it moves through the area from the ground up. So I forget how tall that tank is. It's about 150 feet, Jacob? Okay. So from about 150 feet and up, we're seeing weather out to about 4,000 feet till it meets the nearest next rad beam and we get a full, complete picture. This data is now available to all of the public partners in this parish that we work with. So for instance, Terrebonne Parish has access to it. The Consolidated Waterworks has access to it. Any public leader, public safety leader in the community can have real-time access to it. And actually the weather offices have access to this information now as well. And the whole goal is to use that to improve watches, warnings, and alerts. Now that they can actually see what's happening closer to the ground, they can use that in their forecasting and planning and preparation and response when weather's coming in the area. Another kind of couple of anecdotes about gap symptoms. You guys deal with a lot of flooding here. Sometimes if you have certain amounts of rain that are forecast and maybe you get a lot more or even a lot less, that's additionally an example of living in a gap. We have a community that we work with in Tennessee that before our radar was brought to them, they had a situation where 3 inches of rain was forecast. They actually got 21 inches. So you can see how not knowing what's coming your way can be really challenging when you're trying to protect your communities and your property. So that I'm here to answer any questions. The real goal today was to dedicate this radar to Terrebonne Parish, to the Consolidated Waterworks, and to say thank you. Like I said, it's my favorite part of the job. So with that, I do want to make a presentation on behalf of Climavision. Gary, if you'll come up and help me. So we want you guys to hang this up somewhere where you can be proud of it. This is our contribution to you guys, and thank you so much. We're looking forward to years working together as we protect your communities.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Climavision came in, and everything you see, all this galvanized catwalk, all the air conditioner that you hear running to keep their equipment cool, the generator which uses natural gas, which there was none, they installed, and of course the bubble up on top, which you really can't see from here. They provided extra strength. As most of y'all know, we lost our elevated tank at the end of Dulac due to the high winds. If you notice, there's 2 braces, rods that go up on those riser bars. There used to only be 1, and the bigger one is there. So they've strengthened, they've fortified this tank. All of that, no cost, no cost. So the public bodies, through Mr. Hughes here, will get training classes as to how to log on and how to access the data. Didn't cost us in Terrebonne Parish not a penny. The board saw the goodness in this and took advantage of it. Thank y'all again. And so this we have to look forward to for many years to come. We thank Climavision, and at least now we know what's coming at us.
That's right.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yay!